Howdy folk, Athorax here. Hope you're keeping well. Hope you're having a lot of fun with the new expansion and exploring Skovels. And yeah, it's been pretty entertaining and interesting to dive into the new endgame systems and find out things for ourselves. And I hope you're having the same kind of experience as well. I'd like to talk about a build that I've pretty much made, and that is Kick. Kick is a brawling skill build, and you can say it's got a lot of legwork into it, but um, essentially, I'll show you what it can do. Just keep in mind that we're currently on Torment 9. We are far from optimized. It's a bit of a mess with the gear. We've done our best, but it's still a bit of a mess. And the build has a lot more to grow, but have a look. So yeah, as you can see, it has a decent amount of AoE, decent back, when it comes to damage. But all we know, very fun builds, unending kind of rotation, and that's why I was like joking with the legwork of skills here, of kick and ground stomp. So yeah, one thing to keep in mind before you do anything is you kind of want to have bash. So whenever you open up the game, make sure that you equip bash and use one little swing with it so you can activate your two-handed hammer. So you actually go around with your two-handed hammer when you're in the any combat or anything of the sort, because otherwise you will lose some damage, basically because of the fact that the expertise gives you 15% more increased damage, while the dual wielding weapons, depending what you have, might or might not. The one-handed maces might give you some damage to stun, but that's situational. So having the two-handed mace is a bit better. A little bit less attack speed, but nevertheless pretty good. Now, let's go through the skill tree. First things first, we got ground stomp, which, yeah, a bit more damage, a lot more fury generation. So the fury goes to 30, very important, and then it becomes a brawling skill. As many points as you can get into this bad boy. Next up, we got the shouts. The 3 shouts here, good old combo. Rallying Cry gives you a bit more resource generation, very important, and movement. Fortification, very, very good to make sure that you're fortified in combat. Absolutely necessary as well. And yeah, basically a bit more movement speed on top. We've added a few points here, but not that many. Next up, we got Challenging Shout. Pretty much your bread and butter when it comes to defenses. More duration, a bit more damage, and a bit more damage reduction. Now, next up, we got Warcry. Max it out as much as you can. Warcry is pretty sick. One thing I can say about it is like, yeah, we got a decent amount of multiplicative damage. However, you might want to go end game with the Scream. The Scream is insane, right? So it's like an additional 37.5% multiplicative damage for 10 enemies. So when you're clearing up trash in the pit or anywhere else, this is very, very good. It will definitely give you crazy amount of damage when you pop Warcry. Otherwise, for single target, Mighty Roar is good, but eventually, even against a single target, the Scream is going to outpace anything that you can like pretty much get on the Mighty Roar, and we're still far from optimized, so we're expecting to have about 10% per enemy feared here. It's gonna be insane. So yeah, duration, and then a bit of a slow here, and then we go with kick, of course. Now kick, we go with power kick. So essentially we need to have more than 150 fury. We need to have about 200, because kick itself spends about 30 fury or something of the sort. So quite important. Makes him vulnerable. If you sort out your vulnerable, which I'll talk in a minute, you can go with the multiplicative damage, which is going to be pretty good. And then you got Collide. Right, so Collide is, yeah, pretty much an extra damage boost. Now, when it comes to the ultimates, this is the interesting part. Naturally, Call of the Ancients, with its perks of damage here and summoning the Ancients, would give you a bit more damage when multiplied by Berserking, naturally. However, there are a few gimmicks which we're gonna get to, and that why we use Wrath of the Berserker. Number one, Wrath of the Berserker gives you unstoppable all the time. Number two, those 25% berserking damage get increased to 100%. And then we got even furthermore multipliers from gear which are gonna increase the berserking. So yeah, naturally berserking is 25. This thing gets it up to 50%. Now, on top of that, we get maximum carnage, so every fury that we spend, we increase the duration of Wrath of the Berserker, so we kind of have an uptime of about 25 seconds, roughly. And then overpower. Now, the way our build is pretty much designed is like, we still use the Banish Lord, so we get overpower stacks, but because of our fury consumption being low, we don't get it as fast. So having Wrath of the Berserker on and active gives you that passive overpower stacking, which is very, very good. So yeah, essentially this is pretty much the thing, and with a decent amount of cooldown, I haven't equipped my gloves right now, we can pretty much make sure that we have 100% uptime, so we're still a bit low on cooldown, but if we manage to get it to about 25 seconds, we're gonna be in a very, very good spot, which is possible. So yeah, now when it comes to the gear, please keep in mind that everything that you see here in-game is pretty much a bit of a mess. We've done our best, but there are a few things which we're missing. So I'm going to be tabbing out between the actual build that I've created, which is supposed to be the real endgame, and what I've got currently. So first and foremost, we got to go with Crown of Lucian in the endgame build. Keep in mind that we need to hit cooldown reduction, attack speed, and critical strike on the gear as stats, so we can have 100% of all of them, well, 75 for the cooldown. But yeah, pretty much we've stacked a lot of attack speed, cooldown reduction, and critical strike chance anywhere that we can get our hands on. So yeah, without further ado, yeah, Crown of Lucian is gonna increase basically your damage by a silly amount, 90%, and pretty much good as hell. Ideally, we still want to be chasing the values of cooldown reduction and maximum life and strength on Crown of Lucian. That would be the ideal option. But yeah, next up we go with Heavenly Strength. So Heavenly Strength is pretty much one of the best things for damage reduction. We're going to be getting a lot more maximum resource on it, ideally, right? Legendary items are quite easy to kind of melt and get what you need, more or less. So that's one of the things where through the Haraji Cube you can kind of get what you need. When it comes to unique items, they're not so easy, so we're gonna really have to hunt for them. And yeah, but as instead of Crown of Lucian, we currently have Shaco, bit of a patch-up situation. But yeah, next up, moving on, we got these gloves here. Ideally, we should be having Fists of Fate. So yeah, more max life, attack speed, and cooldown reduction, essentially, and they give you a ton of damage, so that's pretty much the reason for it. Next up we go with Chain Scourge Mail, a must-have, something that basically first off makes the ground stomp and the kick build work, right? So essentially you can have an unending amount of of like rotation with it, so pretty good. Also, of course, a little bit more damage. Now, next up we go with the boots. Aspect of Booming Voice is absolutely insanely good. Increases your duration shouts, so basically your duration shouts come up to the value of what we used to have before the expansion, more or less, and then with a bit more cooldown you can pretty much see we can have 100% uptime of them, which we already do on the challenging shout. So yeah, pretty important to get that uptime for the shouts, so hence our choice. Also, brawling skills, pretty crazy. First off, it's gonna boost your Warcry damage naturally, and then the Scream as well is getting boosted by it, so pretty insane. And then on top of that, you also get damage for kick and ground stomp anyway, so it's a pretty crazy thing to have. Next up we go with Crushing Aspects. As you can see, we've kind of maxed out on attack speed here, so through all of these attack speed timbers we're going to be able to get pretty much 100% attack speed without having to worry about it from any other way. And yeah, Crushing Aspect, damage while fortified, Limitless Rage on is pretty insane. Like Eldraine is good, but it doesn't provide the damage that Limitless Rage kind of gives you and stuff. So yeah, Pretty much this is it. Then we got Encroaching Rat here as well, not too bad. The Grandfather is a must-have. It's going to expand our maximum resource. We currently don't have enough of the maximum resource, so it's going to go to about 200. So it's going to be just about what you need. You need to stay above 150, even after you cast that kick, so you get the 75% multiplicative bonus damage from the power kick itself. Now, when it comes to other than that, a ton of maximum life. This is very good for survival, especially if you play hardcore. Now, next up, we go for Aspect of Wall Open, and as you can see, all the stats: crit, attack speed, cooldown reduction. We need to get those, so yeah, pretty much more damage. Now, this is the other one, Edgemaster, pretty good. A lot more, basically, damage, and again, the stats. Now, this is the interesting part. Emblem of Style Break. Now, first off, if we can get it with brawling skills and the stats that we need, that would be amazing. But nonetheless, berserking damage bonus is increased by 110%. So remember how we already had 50% of the berserking because of the, well, pretty much Wrath of the Berserker increasing it. So these 55% now are going to go to 110%, which is pretty much insane at this point. Like, the base multiplicative damage goes insane because of it. And here is the funny part. We're going to be using, now I'm going to go to the Talisman, we're going to be using the Banished Lord as a unique charm. The Banished Lord as a unique charm is an amazing skill because currently it gives you each stack of overpower, gives you 22% damage per stack. And the thing is, we're going to have 22 plus 18, so 18% more multiplicative damage from the fact that Banished Lord's critical strike essentially gives you more overpower multiplicative damage. So that's going to be 40 per stack. Now we currently can have 4 overpower stacks. 40 times 4 is 160% multiplicative damage, which is insane. So that's why we want to have the Banished Lord, but it gets better. When we actually get the Style Break, we can imprint another aspect on it. And if we get the Tidal aspect, it increases our stacks by another 4. But actually, wait, it actually is 6 because it's on an amulet. So we can do 6 times 40 is 240 plus another 160 from the original stacks. So we're going to have 10 overpower stacks. We're going to have 400 multiplicative damage on top of already the Style Break. Just insanity, complete insanity. It's going to be a lot of work getting the Tidal aspect, but it is possible. We're going to have to save on a lot of Kalian charms and stuff like that, but in due time, that is possible. Now, before like we continue, I like to talk about the runes. So we got Sirengar, which is very important for the crit. So we got about 25% crit from Grandfather and pretty much endgame, all stats and all that, from dexterity and all that. That's another 25, that's 50%. Everything else that you see on the gear, such as critical strike chance and stuff like that, is going to get us to those 100%. We also have some stuff from the Paragon, so we're going to get to that 100% either way. Now, when it comes to the Talisman, we have chosen to go with the Crucible. Now, why is the Crucible so cool? The Crucible, first off, the 2 set is invaluable at this point. Remember how we had 110% berserking? Well, the berserking damage bonus is increased by another 50%. So that's going to go to 165% or something of the sort at this point. Crazy amounts of multiplicative of berserking everywhere, all over the place. Madness. Total madness. So yeah, on 3 sets, we get more damage reduction from berserking. So when you combine Challenging Shout, the Heavenly Strength aspect, plus these 3 sets, you get about 75% damage reduction, which is pretty good. We're gonna have a ton of life, so we're gonna be good. And then of course we get 200% more multiplicative damage, fury cost reduction, cooldown reduction, every 5 seconds you trigger a random shout skill, more increased damage to elites after 60 seconds. So pretty crazy. With endgame, we're gonna be able to keep up the uptime of Wrath of the Berserker pretty much all the time, since we're gonna be having more than enough cooldown and things like that, so it will be okay. Essentially, yeah, we have about 25 seconds duration Wrath of the Berserker, so if we can trim another 20 seconds out of it now, which we don't have all the cooldown reductions at the moment, we have some of them but not everything, we should be quite okay. But yeah, this is pretty much the skill tree and the talisman and all these things. Of course, the other rune word is U and 2. You get even more vulnerable damage, and essentially you freeze them, and yeah, basically it's just pretty good. It works really well because both of these things have naturally a cooldown, and it works like a charm as a rune word. So yeah, of course, physical damage multiplier gems all over the place, and yeah, polearm technique, get a bit more damage. Now when it comes to the Paragon, you can either go with exploit or you can go with martial. Martial is pretty insane because it's going to reduce the Wrath of the Berserker cooldown reduction by pretty much 2 seconds for each shout, and since the shouts are on very low cooldown, we're going to be able to kind of help ourselves to reduce the cooldown. That's what I've been doing these days. Sadly, it's only these 2 shouts now. The Rallying Cry doesn't count because you can spam it. But yeah, next up, more Fury, more Max Life, Wrath, Warbringer, pretty much standard. Next up, Blood Rage, Challenger, more Max Life, again pretty standard. Crusher, again more damage. Decimator, more damage, more Max Life. And last but not least, Flawless Technique, more multiplicative damage, 5% more critical strike chance, more attack speed on this bolt, so pretty good. And the crown jewel, Brawl, right? So increase that brawling damage to the sky. So yeah, mercs, pretty much simple. Nothing too exciting right here in Subu. And yeah, this is pretty much it. I've left a bunch of leveling notes and things like that in the build, so you're more than welcome to check them out. I hope you kind of like what you saw. I'm gonna keep on putting up videos for the pit runs that I'm gonna be doing later, so we're gonna keep you posted with how the build goes and how things develop. I'm expecting some craziness happening around, but yeah, if you guys like this, feel free to leave a like on the video. There's gonna be a link in the build video, of course, as usual. If you got any questions or you like to chill, I'm also streaming live on twitch.com Athorax TV pretty much every day, so you're more than welcome to drop by and see how we're doing firsthand. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great expansion. Cheerio.